Hello, I'm Oscar. I'm a Lich, and this is breaking news from the Shadow World. Yes, the end of the world is cancelled, and the Shadow World is confused as to what will happen next. A press conference has been called by the four horsemen of the apocalypse to address the shadow media on this matter. I repeat, the end of the world is cancelled, and we are waiting for the press conference to begin, where we hope to learn why it was cancelled. While we wait, let's join our special envoy in the Shadow World for a live update. Mike Goblin is live with a camera to bring us images of the various Dark Legions filling up the Disney theater right now. So, Mike, what can we expect the four horsemen of the apocalypse to tell us about this unforeseen cancellation of their world tour? Mike? Mike, can you come in front of the camera, Mike? What? Oh. We seem to have a minor technical issue. Seems that Mike was eaten. Back to the studio. It's not the end of the world, and it seems it never will be. Oh, I'm being told we still have a feed. Perhaps if we raise the volume, I'll be able to hear what's going around in the chatter and the gossip. Can we raise the... What? What's that? What? What? Oh. I'm being told that Mike was not eaten. It was Mike Goblin that has eaten the microphone. And what we heard was him choking on it. We still have a clear video feed of the press conference. Perhaps I can read their lips. The four horsemen have yet to appear. We hope to get the sound back before they arrive. Our special envoy might finish choking in time for us to hear why. Why is the end of the world cancelled? Oh, I can recognize one of the Shadow Legion commanders. I can't see who he's talking to. Something about a horseman that seems to be missing, if I'm reading his lips correctly. Well, his snout, really. Well, seems only 3 of the horsemen showed up. This is not yet confirmed. I'm being told that we will be able to bring you the closed captioning of the press conference. We are now speculating on the possibility a horseman may be absent from the press conference. It's safe to assume that the news of the cancellation came as a shock for the horsemen, who suddenly found themselves unemployed. Seems that the press conference is starting. Oh, I see only 3 figures present at the podium. Horseman Famine seems to be missing, so Famine is not present at the conference. Death is about to make his address to the shadow media. The Horsemen of War, along with the Antichrist, are standing behind him. I will attempt to read the captions in my best death impression. Curse you all for being present here at this press conference. My colleagues and I have summoned you tonight to confirm that yes, the end of the world is cancelled, and to update you on the circumstances leading to the breach of our contract, including the consequences of the cancellation for the parties involved. Unfortunately, the Horseman of Famine is unable to be with us. He is suffering from a grave bulimia attack. Upon hearing of the cancellation, he went into shock and then ate his horse. Dark wizards are presently attempting to hex him back to reason. My colleagues and I wish him a quick recovery. He's now unrolling a parchment. I will now explain why the end of the world was cancelled. Please note, my colleagues will not address you, and I will not be answering questions. Now he's reading from the parchment. There are 2 main aspects that provoked the cancellation of the cancellation of the end. Oh dear, he's sobbing. Death appears to be very emotional. He's staring at the parchment, holding back from tears. The audience is chilled by the honest sentiment being expressed by Death itself. Oh, no. He's not going to read from the parchment. He just threw it away. Oh dear. How terrifying. I suspect death is about to speak from his heart. I don't know if I can watch this.
I've been dying for this. Dying for millennia for this day. Not to be alone. Be with others. Not be alone.
Now the Antichrist has picked up the parchment and is giving it to Death. He's clawing his shoulder to console him. Oh, wait, what? Death just pushed the Antichrist away, and he's pointing his finger at him.
You are on my list, and I can make you a priority right now.
Now the Horseman of War is stepping in to stop the conflict. He's pulling the Antichrist away, off stage. This is live from the Shadow World. Death is threatening to kill the Antichrist, and War is pulling him away from the scene. War seems desperate to stop the fight from starting. I don't know what to say. Death is turning back towards the audience.
You, all of you, all you legions and lords of shadows, forever be with you the peace of Christ.
That's it. Death just ended the press conference in a most dramatic manner. I wasn't prepared for such a turn of events. Oh, it seems we have received a written communique that was meant to be read by Death. I will now read it, as it is the only official statement we have from the Four Horsemen addressing the end of the world being cancelled. There are two main aspects that provoked the cancellation of the end of the world, both of which have nothing to do with any of the Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse themselves. The first is related to our promoters at the Vatican, who failed to conjure up enough fear and terror in the population, which was required to open the gates of hell and let the Shadow Legions into the world. Secondly, too many humans have modified the original intention, changing the end of the world for the end of a world, further preventing the conjuration of sufficient fear in the population. Therefore, the contract is now dissolved, along with all seals, bonds, and wards that Dark Wizards had put in place for the Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse and all shadow beings associated with them, and it's signed by the Four Horsemen. There you have it. Not only the end of the world is cancelled, but the Shadow World just saw some of their greatest members fall apart, turn on each other, and even on themselves. So a quick recap. The end of the world is cancelled. Horseman Famine is still being treated for his bulimia attack. We wish him a speedy recovery. We saw Death have a breakdown and threaten to kill the Antichrist, but War prevented the escalation of the conflict and dragged the Antichrist out of the Disney theater back into the infernal shadows. The press conference ended before Death finished his official statement, banishing the assembled Dark Legions by wishing them the peace of Christ. We'll be back with a follow-up as soon as anything new develops. For Shadow World News, I'm Oscar, the Skull of a Lich, wishing you the peace of Christ.